Hello. Good evening, everybody. Would you please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to move to our item 6A, and this is the appointment of a police sergeant. And at the request of Chief Bonsi, he is requesting the probationary appointment of Police Officer Joe Pena to the position of Police Sergeant. Police Officer Pena has been on the force since August 2010. He'll be assigned to the Patrol Division. This assignment will be effective starting January 1st, 2022. The annual rate of pay will be $135,468, holiday pay of $68.30, and $2,000 for longevity pay. Police Officer Pena's name appears on the eligible list 78655, established September 17, 2019, and as provided for in Westchester County Civil Service rules, is necessary for him to serve a probationary period of a minimum of 12 weeks and to a maximum of 52 weeks, and funds have been provided for in the 2022 budget. So I'll make the motion to appoint Police Officer Pena to the position of Police Sergeant effective January 1st, 2022 at the annual salary of $135,468, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. All right. Congratulations. I'll put my mask on, we'll come down, swear you in. How's that? Gary, you picking this up? Okay. Put your right hand on it. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Put your left hand, raise your right hand.
Oh, sure.
You think I know that by now after all
You've been
these
through
years?
it, yeah.
Okay, please repeat after me. I, Joe Pena,
I, Joe Pena,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States,
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the laws of the town of Eastchester,
the laws of the town of Eastchester,
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
as Sergeant in the Eastchester Police Department
as Sergeant in the Eastchester Police Department
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank
Thank you. A couple words, you can- over there. There you go, Joe. Come right over here.
I'm certainly known to be long-winded, so I'll just keep it brief. I'm sure everybody wants to get on their way. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the town supervisor, all the members of the town board, Chief Bonsi, I know he can't be here tonight, and the lieutenants for having the faith in me to elevate me to this really serious and honorable position. I'd certainly be remiss in not thanking my family that's here and not here with me today. My mom, my sister, my brother-in-law, my niece and nephew, and most importantly, of course, my wife, Christina, and my two daughters, Gabriella and Julia. It's not always easy being the spouse or family member of a police officer with shift work and the such, so I want to thank them all very much for supporting me and allowing me to take on this role. 11 years ago when I became a police officer, I took the importance of being that. I'm fourth generation Eastchester resident. My mom, my grandfather, my great-grandfather all lived here, which is something that I took to heart and the importance of, and I'll continue that in my role in sergeant, for sure. I'll honor the position. I hope to support my fellow officers in their roles each and every day and making sure they get home safely. And I also want to thank the community members for allowing me to be in this role and to make this town, which it is, the best and safest town to live in Westchester. So I want to thank you all. Happy holidays. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. I guess all that time up at the Dare mic helped you out. Very smooth, making sure you recognize your spouse. That's always some tough thing to do, remember to do. It was very good. And we know you're going to do an excellent job. You've been an outstanding police officer, and was an easy selection to choose you for sergeant position. And the other two candidates we had also were exceptional. We are very fortunate to have queued up additional sergeant candidates that are going to be very, very well received too. But we wish you the very best of luck there, and we know you'll make us proud. And we'll just take a 2-minute recess if we could, and this way, if you want, you get the girls home. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. One second. Thank you. Get back on the record if we could. Oops. Thank you. Okay, we're going to continue with our personnel appointments. The next is skilled laborer, Parks and Recreation, and the controller is requesting, and Sally is requesting, the probationary appointment of Alan Martinez to the full-time position of skilled laborer, Group F, Step 5, Schedule 2, at the annual salary of $65,258, effective January 1st, 2022. Mr. Martinez has been employed for the town, or with the town, for the last 4 years as a laborer. This is an increase in his position going to skilled laborer. If approved, he'll be required to serve a probationary period which will run not less than 12 and not more than 52 weeks. And funds, of course, have been provided for in our 2022 budget. Someone care to make a motion on Alan?
I'll move it.
All right.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next, we have a recommendation from our Controller, Dawn Donovan, requesting the probationary appointment of Chris Mascalco of Bronxville to the full-time position of laborer, Group B-E, Step 1, at the annual salary of $47,897, effective January 3rd, 2022. If approved, he'll be required to serve a probationary period, which will run not less than 12 weeks and not more than 52 weeks. The appointment is contingent on the successful completion of the background investigation and pre-employment testing. Funds have been provided in the 2022 budget, and so I'll make the motion to appoint Christopher Mascola to the full-time position of laborer, Group E, Step 1, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Also, just to note, generally speaking, we'll bring on people in highway, sanitation, and recycling on a part-time basis, 40-hour week, but part-time status. And if they show that they can handle the job and do it well, then we'll generally move them into the permanent positions. So Chris has done that. He's done an excellent job, and we're anticipating in January that several more people that were on for most of the summer and fall will be able to fill in some vacant spots that we have in highway. Now, that brings us over to approval of the minutes for the December 7th regularly scheduled town board meeting. Anyone have any modifications or amendments?
So I have one change.
Sure.
Linda, if you don't mind, on the last page in the, where I make my comment, if you could, snow angels, make it Tucko Snow Angels. That's it, thank you.
All right.
I'm sorry?
Is the website also Tuckahoe Snow Angels?
There is no website, so it's just an email address?
Email
And I might have
email.
said it wrong, so,
No, thank you, I appreciate that.
no, thank you.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the modification proposed by Councilwoman Marcotte, and ask for a second, please.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilman Marcoccia.
Aye.
Councilman Dooley.
Aye.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Aye.
Supervisor Colavita.
Aye. Next, we have reports of departments, boards, and commissions. Our police department report, any report tonight? While you're working your way up, we have the traffic violations for November, parking summonses, detective report, and statement of accounts. Anything further, Lieutenant?
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor and members of the town board. I just want to thank you for your support in promoting Officer Pena. Like you had said, we had 3 exceptional candidates. Officer Pena was #1 on the list, and he is well-deserved in that position. Aside from DARE, which you mentioned, he's also taken over as the accreditation manager, and he's been a member of our traffic unit. I know he'll do very well as a sergeant. And then the only other thing we want to remind everybody, make sure you please lock your doors, lock your car doors, lock your house doors. We have seen an increase in car larcenies from people who left their doors open or their keys in the car.
Yeah, watch out for the porch pirates, too. A lot of that going on. All right, anything further for Lieutenant Rodriguez? No? Okay, thank you very much, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us over to the Law Department report. Mr. Rader?
Yes, good evening. I have a resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute and deliver an amendment
to a lease agreement made between the town of Eastchester and the Eastchester Fire Department for the use of the Marble Schoolhouse from January 1st, 2022 to August 31st, 2022. And if just briefly mentioned to the board, several months ago, we did an agreement between us and the fire department, allowing them to use the Marble Schoolhouse. I spoke to Chief Tween a couple of weeks ago, and he indicated to me, due to labor shortages and supply issues, they're a little behind schedule, but he hopes to have this done well before August 31st, but I just did a little bit extra just in case they run into some problems, but they should be done before that, hopefully.
All right. I'll make a motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. Next, we have the Highway Department report. Mr. Latella? Gearing up for snow. Let's hope it's not a snowy winter, but everything's pointing in that direction.
We never know.
Yeah, that's right.
Good evening, Supervisor Colavita and members of the town board. I'd like to report crews have completed leaf pickup. We recommend all residents place remainder of leaf and green waste materials in brown leaf bags or barrels. We will pick them up on a Wednesday, weather permitting. Crews installed holiday lighting on various town association trees and installed holiday wreaths and garland throughout our town business centers. We are preparing all our equipment for the snow season. We ask residents please drive carefully and cautiously as we clear our roads during these winter snowstorms. I'd like to wish all happy holidays and a happy, healthy new year. That's all I have to report.
Thank you. Anything from Mr. Latella? No, thank you very much, Rocco. Okay, that we have the receiver of taxes report for November. You can receive and file same. That moves us over to correspondence. We have a memo from the assessor on a tax refund application, and this is pertaining to Section 66H, Block 5, Lot 171, and this is a refund application for $1,832 approved by the Westchester County Tax Commission, and apparently the enhanced star exemption was removed from the property, so they paid too much, so the state has to give them back some money. $1,832 even. And this is, again, and we'll put the enhanced star category back onto that property. So I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. Next is a memo from the Superintendent of Parks and Recreation for the acceptance of the New York State Office of Children and Family Services Grant Award, and this is for the sum of $36,500, and that's to, we newly installed a toddler park at the Chester Heights Park on Oregon Ave, and we use that rubber surface material, which is a lot safer than the mulch. And also the the fiber and the mulch just floats away every time it rains, so you have to keep filling it and putting it back in again. So this stuff should do a really good job, and it's also waterproof, which is great. So we're very delighted. It's very expensive, but that's a very, very heavily used park, so it's time for that. Anyway, so someone care to make a motion on this?
So moved.
All right, I'll second same. Please call the roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. Next is a memorandum from the Controller for some part-time seasonal people, mostly related to EIBL, which is in full swing. I'll make the motion. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. And as we have done every year in conjunction with the Eastchester Tuckahoe Chamber of Commerce, we'll be bagging meters from Wednesday the 22nd, which is tomorrow, through Saturday the 25th. And that'll be in the business districts, and the 2-hour limitation will apply. You can't just plop your car there for a few days. So it's a 2-hour limit still, but there'll be no coins required for the meters. We have done this every year historically, and I know a lot of other places are following our lead on that. Okay, someone care to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. Next, we have a memorandum from the Lake Isle General Manager regarding a market feasibility study and financial analysis for the proposed indoor pool facility. And this is the amount of $27,000, and this is for this pool that we've contemplated installing at Lake Isle. We initially had contemplated bubbling, for lack of a better expression, the Olympic pool. And, that would be something we could do. However, as we've learned, now there are new rules and regulations with regard to swimming and swimming meets and depth of pools. For example, now you have to have at least 6 feet in the lap lanes so that when people dive in, of course, they're not hitting themselves, onto the bottom of the pool. So presently, there's 4 feet. So the lanes that are in the existing Olympic pool are not regulation. Now, apparently, you can continue to use them as long as you don't modify the pool in any manner. But putting, the new filtration system in, heat system, and the bubble will be affecting the pool, which would necessarily trigger the excavation of the pool, basically destruction of the pool, installation of a whole brand-new pool. So that's not really something we want to consider. The other thing we also learned is that diving is also, has to be deeper than 13 feet, which is what the depth of the diving tank is up at Lake Isle. So if we're going to have competitive diving, that's going to have to be lower too. But anyway, so the thought was, what shall we do? What shall we consider? And we collectively thought it probably would be a really good idea to consider installing a lap lane pool only up on the westerly side, way up on the hill, all the way back by the tree line where the diving tank is, to make that like a dedicated lap lane area. So people that were looking to swim laps, and there's a lot of them, would go up there to do their laps, and then that would emancipate the rest of the pool for free swim. And it's all basically that 4-foot depth, so pretty much everyone can go wherever they want in that pool. And, the kids will have a little more freedom, a little more space, and the people that are doing laps won't be complaining that the kids are in the lanes and doing whatever. So that area up top, we would likely bubble or, put some plastic structure on or something that would be winterized so that we could have meets and swimming in the summer, and we would of course be compliant with the depth of the pool, the requirement that it be 6 feet deep. Now, you're saying to yourself, well, how can our kids go there in the wintertime if the pool's 6 feet deep? But they make, depending on the width of your pool and whatever dimensions you want, these lifts that raise the bottom of the pool up to a 4-foot level or a 3-foot level, or frankly, any level you wanted. So that, we would then have the ability to have kind of free swim and, playtime for kids if they wanted to go in there, or adults for that matter. And then we would still have a portion of this pool be used for short laps or, whatever the case might be. So it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. We will be able to do a lot of things with it. So we want this company to tell us what it would cost, where it could go, what are we best planned, what is the best plan to take action here? Also, approximately what are the revenues for this type of facility, and in essence, kind of look at the big picture for us and give us some recommendations, and then it'll be up to us and the Lake Isle Advisory Board to figure out what the best plan of action is. My guts tell me that a brand-new pool with all the construction technology they have there now, with the pitch up there, with the space that we have, a new pool may be the thing to add there, and all the swimmers or the people that swim laps would love that. Also, we could have a place for the senior swims as well to do laps and everything. So really, I think it's going to work out pretty nicely. But anyway, let's find out. Let's get our information together. Let's make an informed decision. And I think I want to just thank George Papadimitriou, who went out and found someone to do, a comprehensive analysis. And we're all, gung-ho to make sure we advance this project. Okay, so that being said, I'll make the motion to approve this market feasibility study and financial analysis for the proposed indoor pool facility at Lake Isle, and ask for a second, please.
Second?
Any further discussion? No, there being none, please call the roll.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Okay, there being no miscellaneous business, we have our council member reports. Councilman Marcoccia.
Thank you, Supervisor. Just wanted to mention that COVID, unfortunately, seems to be spiking again, so just please be careful. Use some common sense, obviously. Wear your masks, and just be careful over the holiday weekend, the weekends that are coming up. And I also want to just wish everyone a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, and I hope that Santa is really good to all of you. So happy holidays, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Dooley.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Yeah, I'd just like to wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and a safe and Happy New Year. So thank you.
Councilwoman Nicholson.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, everyone. Just one short notice. EIBL will resume after the winter break. And I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year. Thank you.
Councilwoman Marcotte.
Thank you, Supervisor. Just very quickly from the TPAC Committee, the Traffic Parking Advisory Committee, they just wanted to remind everybody, while they don't meet during the month of December, they're of course they're still very active. And I guess a lot of people ask, how do they submit a request or something for the committee's consideration, if you will, and the form is actually on the Eastchester website. So if you go to the website, and right across the top, there's about 6 or 7 categories. You go to the far right, it says Documents, you click on it, it's a drop-down menu, and you can find the TPAC form. You can very easily fill it out, you can mail it, you can drop it off, you can scan it, whatever is the most convenient for you. They'd love to hear your thoughts and comments and suggestions, and that is all I have. I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, healthy New Year as well, and if you're traveling, safe travels. Thank you, Supervisor.
Yeah, I concur with all of my fellow board members. Wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Remember, it's not what's under the tree, it's who's around the tree with you. And I saw an interesting meme the other day. There was a bunch of people behind the wall and they had a long stick, and they were opening the door that said 2022 on it. Kind of apprehensive about what 22 will be like. But I think better, rather than just open the door with a stick from afar, we should just kick the door down and go right into 22 hard charging and have a wonderful year and get all this COVID business behind us and kind of resume normalcy a little bit would be nice. And with that being said, I'll conclude my report, and that brings us to the second opportunity to address the board. Anyone? Yes, sir. Just give us your name, please, and address. Thank you.
I move this, or is this okay?
You can pick it up. Just twist
Jeff
it.
Zuckerman, I live at 24 Bronx Street in Tuckahoe, part of Eastchester. I have something I want to address the board about tonight. I'm actually here on a fact-finding mission. Something happened this week, and it has me very upset. And I thought that I would actually ask the board members how they feel. I mean, any of you can answer me. Anyone can answer me.
You address the chair, please.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to word it the right way so that that everybody understands. We have you have your positions as members of the town council. You've been elected. You have a much better pulpit to speak to people as town council people who have been on many boards. I'm looking at Joe Dooley. I know Joe's been involved with the Eastchester Irish American Society. There's lots of people following him. Luigi knows people with his family for so many years. Tony and Sheila have been on all sorts of boards and governments, county, local. So you have a great following. So I'm asking you as a hypothetical what your opinion is of using a personal Facebook page to speak about, let's say somebody's running for office in Bronxville. So you put on your personal Facebook page where you know you have a large following, something that is outrageously not true, cannot be proven, it's completely false, and it's very, very hurtful. You call out a person or people, you degrade them, you call them corrupt, horrible, horrible people. And I'm asking you if anyone has an opinion on doing that as an elected official here on your own personal Facebook page, which the whole world can see. How does that sit with you? I'm serious.
Well, I'm not sure what the context is you're referring to. If you're talking about the fire district election,
Right.
you know, this is not the venue for that. We're not going to talk politics of the fire district election. With regard to your question, everyone has the right to say what they want. It's a free country, and if they say something that's inappropriate, then people will realize it's inappropriate, and that'll affect their status in the community, like anybody would.
But I mean, I'm talking about an elected official. Not talking about Mr. and Mrs. John Doe next door to me that write whatever they want. I'm talking about being elected and then using your Facebook page to comment on things that are truly heinous. I mean, horrible. It's okay with you. You're saying that If Luigi
personal
decides
choice.
to tell bald-faced lies on his Facebook page, you don't have any problem with that. I mean, we have had elected officials out there in the world, and they've done horrible things, and they've been called on the carpet because of it. In the newspaper, on social media, all over, they've been called on that. But you're saying, is there anyone else wants to comment? Because Tony's telling me that his feeling is that any of you can post anything you want, even if it's a bald-faced lie, and that you don't feel you have any larger responsibility to the populace as a person with a bully pulpit that the rest of us don't.
Well, people have the right to free speech, and you post things at risk, at your own risk. And that's the way it is. And if you say something risque or it's not appropriate, then people will react to it, and your time as an elected official may be shortened.
Okay.
But you also have the right to your own free speech and your right to do things. We have people up here recently said, how dare someone in town government foil something, another entity. And they don't realize that person, that just because you work for a town doesn't mean you're completely stifled. You have a choice in what you say, and people react to what you say, and that's your issue, favorably or unfavorably.
Okay, so then I have free speech here then.
To a certain extent, yes.
To what extent don't I have free speech?
Because you can't speak of things that are not germane to the town government, the business of the town government of Eastchester. This is not public access. This is government access, and government of the town of Eastchester particularly. So things that pertain to this government is what you have freedom to say.
I know, but Tony, you made a robocall for this election Monday.
Sure.
So you did that as the Supervisor Colavita.
That's politics, yeah.
I know, but...
I am Supervisor Colavita. And
that?
I am Supervisor Colavita.
I know, and you got involved in that election.
Right,
and
no, I know. I didn't get involved. I was involved. Someone wrote a letter with my name in it and circulated it around the town. And then other elected officials in this community also weighed in. So having been somewhat provoked, I made a comment. I made a call. And that's perfectly permissible and is not in any way, in any shape or form, unethical or inappropriate.
Okay. I'm hearing this, and I'm pretty much in disbelief. I don't know about this letter that you're speaking of, so I don't know what anybody said about you, and I'm sorry they did. Okay? But I can tell you that on a Facebook page,
Jeff, let me stop you. Everyone's talking about Facebook. Facebook, there's a tiny fraction of the Eastchester population is on Facebook. People that are on Facebook think that Facebook is the center of the universe. And many, many people in the town are not on Facebook. If they're on Facebook, they're not friends with us, not friends with anybody, not friends with you. People overestimate and overvalue the importance or the significance of Facebook. And it's not, it's just not something we really got to be talking about here.
Okay, but, I went to a fire district meeting Tuesday night, okay? And at the fire district meeting, I told Paul Carlo, who's a fire commissioner, I said that on Facebook, he commented on something, on some anonymous letter that had been written. Anonymous. It wasn't sent to me, but it was anonymous. It was a silly, childish letter, okay? And he said these low-life liberals will stop at nothing until they get what they want. He had not one shred of evidence as to who wrote the letter. I think that's unethical for a fire commissioner with a following on Facebook to say these low-life liberals will stop at nothing, speaking to that letter.
All right, so...
I think that's unethical.
But then, so you called him out on it, and he made an explanation, I gather?
No, he made no explanation.
Okay,
He made no apology whatsoever.
But that's not got a lot to do with us, is the point.
So you don't find that unethical at all?
No, the guy can say what he wants. And, the ability for a person to reflect on something they've read is not something that's not lawful. It's perfectly lawful.
But it was a lie. What he said was a lie.
So then you called him a liar, and then that's it. And, either if it's truthful, it's truthful. If it's a lie, it's a lie. What does it got to do with us? What does it have to do with us?
Well, because Ms. Marcotte, she started the post. She began the post that incited Paul Carlo to answer and many other people to answer. And it was all a lie.
What was a lie?
Ms. Marcotte
the letter
wrote-
was a lie? I mean, I really do
I'll tell
not
you
want
what
to
the lie
drift
was.
into the politics
Okay,
of the fire
let anyone
department.
answer this. Let your
I could-
attorney answer this,
I could
okay?
care less, really.
I've seen them do a lot of things, and anonymous letters have always been their style. Their style. But this one is one of the lowest things I've ever seen.
All right.
Please go out tomorrow and support Anthony Laurie and send a message that shameless, hurtful, and downright fraudulent measures will never prevail. Okay, not
How- let me ask you a question,
not
though.
one shred of evidence does show.
How is this offensive to you? What do you care?
Because
what
I was
she
supporting,
posts?
I was supporting the other candidate.
Okay, so your
And
guy
I didn't
lost.
want to be called out for something I didn't do.
But who's saying you did it? No one's saying you did this.
Okay.
Somebody did it.
Do you know-
And why would someone that was with the Laurie group do something like that? Obviously, they would never do something like that.
Wait.
That's
Do you
ridiculous.
actually want to debate that now?
I don't
wasn't
really
gonna
care.
go there. I wasn't going to go there. But I could give you
I could care less.
Do you know what? People that tell the giant lie, Tony. This is.
Oh, guys,
these
stop
are
with
the-
your BS about the
No,
giant
no.
lie and
You,
all that business.
Tony, you just went there. I didn't dare to bring up other.
You're here to talk about fire
No.
district politics. That's
I'm
what you're
here to talk
do,
about
and I
what-
foolishly let you do it. So you got 2 seconds to conclude your comments, and that's going to be the end of the fire district political
You
dialogue
just
here.
said to me, why would anybody do that, okay? And I'm going to give you a number of reasons why someone else would do that, okay? Anyone who wrote that stupid letter would probably think that it would get sympathy votes for Tony Laurie. That's one alternative that you would never consider because you started this by saying, why would anybody
That's
else do that?
absurd, but
so
go
that's
ahead.
one. Okay, you don't agree with that possibility,
no,
okay? Here's another one. People might want to just make those liberals or those people look bad for future elections that are coming up. Those are possible alternatives. I wasn't going there because by going there, I'm being the same person that says, but I'm being the same person that does things that there's no basis in fact for. There is no basis in fact for what I just said. None. I only did it because you said there can't be any basis in fact for any other reason
I
other
respect your
than
position, but we're not dancing on the head of a pin here, okay? The fire district dialogue is over. If you want to conclude, I'll give you time to make a conclusion because that will be respectful.
the conclusion here is that the most incredibly unethical lies were told by Ms. Marcotte.
No,
There
they
is
were
no
told in
way,
the letter.
What's that?
Okay.
There's no way
I'm
to
sorry
back them
interrupt
up. She has no way whatsoever to prove them. In fact, Ms. Marcotte, if you could in any way bring me to the person who wrote the letter or the group of people you claim wrote the letter, I will give you $10,000. You got that on TV? I will bring a bag to you with $10,000 if you could prove to me that person. I will take them to the police.
It was
We will
$5,000
get-
in Tucko. Now it's 10 grand here?
Yeah.
I remind you also that
It's
you
up to
pledged
10 grand.
You pledged something 15, 20 years ago here. You were proved wrong, and I don't think we ever saw a dollar.
What is that?
Something about Lake Isle years ago with the starter or something. And
What do you mean?
you had made a pledge, a similar pledge of cash, and you were wrong, and you never coughed up any money.
Yeah, and you're the one, Tony, who told me,
Bob.
and you said to me, even I have to pay Tony Stelluti to get a tea time.
That
You
was-
said that to me with my wife.
That was Stelluti. Yeah, that was it.
With
that was
my
the
wife
context.
in the street, she's upstairs. She will vouch for that. You said even
And I said-
and then I got rid of Tony
Just
Stelluti.
make a donation to the Lake Isle Golf Course,
I
which
got
I hope
rid
you
of,
did.
I got rid of Tony Stelluti. Me, not you, not anyone else. I came here. I said to the chief, "Put the handcuffs on me, chief. I've been stealing from the town of Eastchester." I got rid of Tony Stelluti. And I'm
you're
going to
right.
get.
You're
We're
right.
going to
That was
get to
that.
the bottom of this too. Okay. $10,000 to you. All you got to do is back up the nonsense lies you told on Facebook.
Jeff,
and how come the Facebook page came
You
down?
said she
Why'd
can't
it come
prove
down?
it.
So,
You
all right,
can't prove otherwise. You can't
Came
prove
down because
can't
you
prove
know
it
it was
wasn't
a
a
lie.
liberal.
The
I'm
whole
just-
thing is such
If the
a
board
lie.
will indulge me for a minute,
Go ahead,
I
go
can't
ahead.
believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to go down this rabbit hole with you. So first of all, I don't know why you are so upset unless you are them, because I don't know who them is. So, there's an old saying, me doth think thou protest too
so I'm
much.
not part of the them.
I have the floor. Let me finish. So, and I don't want your money because I don't know who wrote it. And I listened to your, I'm going to call it a rant, because it was on the fire commissioner call.
Yes, it was.
It was a little bit of a rant.
It was.
You were incredibly upset. You went on about I didn't have a shred of evidence. I would ask you a shred of evidence for what, right? It wasn't our side. You're saying, well, it wasn't your side. I don't know who wrote it. Let me ask you this. Former Commissioner Jerry Napolitano said on that same Zoom call, he announced that Anthony Laurie wrote the letter. Did you attack him? Did you ask him where his...
I didn't come
Did
there
you
to attack.
well, I think what's fair is fair. Did you ask him where his shred of evidence is?
No.
Was? Does he have? Will you be paying him? Will he be providing any? I don't
What
get
I
it.
did at home is I turned to my wife and said, I can't believe he's doing the same thing that Sheila and Paul
Oh, my
Conlon did.
goodness.
That's exactly what I said.
Okay.
I can't,
And I'll end it, and you can have the last word, but there were no lies on my Facebook page. I said it then, I'll say it again. What was done was despicable. I didn't use the word corrupt. That was untruthful. Corrupt was not in my Facebook post at all. Fraudulent, maybe. Despicable. The point being, what was done was terrible. Somebody wrote a letter and tried to pass it off as Anthony Laurie. And we know Anthony Laurie didn't write that letter.
You claimed you know who did it.
No, I didn't, Jeff. Those
I've
are your
seen
words.
them.
You're making that up.
Who is them?
The generality.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
All right,
If
Jeff.
it's not us, it's them.
Them
So I
do
don't
a
know
lot
who
of
them
things, and
is.
anonymous letters has always
You
been
can have
their
the last
style.
word. Whatever you want to say, you can have the floor.
No, and you clearly said it was people who were not supporting Anthony Laurie.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Well,
What
probably
do you mean,
wasn't.
obviously? How do you know
How do
that?
you know
the
it wasn't?
obvious.
How do you know it wasn't?
I do not know
No,
it
you have
wasn't.
no idea.
But I would never go on Facebook and say it was someone else. I would never do this.
Okay. Thank you for your comments.
Yes, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to all out
Okay,
there.
so we have
Yeah.
absolutely no one. I'm going to finish with this. Not a single person on this board wants to say that it's unethical to write things like this on a Facebook page and claim that you have ideas of who actually wrote a horrible, horrible letter.
Well, interestingly, and this is the last comment that will be made, because the pulpit gets the last comment. A very bright person pulled up a copy of the letter about that Pasquale's Deli and pulled up this letter. Same font, same spacing, same syntax, same linguistics, same everything. So, it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, flies like a duck. It's
That's
a duck.
it?
I'm
That's
just
it?
saying, that's what somebody
Are we going
said.
to court with that?
No, I'm just
I
telling you.
cannot believe you just went there.
I'm saying, people were saying that, listen, oh my God, look at this. And so that's just, another factor that people are throwing out there, that it could have been this, it could have been that, it could have been anybody.
Exactly.
Everybody-
It could have been anything.
And everybody has the right to speculate, and everybody can say what they like.
I don't think everybody has a right to speculate.
Sure they do.
You speculate around your dining room table. You speculate at the diner. You don't speculate as a person who, other than you, Tony, perhaps Sheila Marcotte has a bigger audience, has a more bully pulpit. And when Teddy Roosevelt used the word bully pulpit, he didn't mean bully as we do it today.
Right.
It's 110 years ago, and bully meant perfect, wonderful. Oh, that's bully. A perfect, wonderful, superb pulpit to speak to people. And a woman who has been in the Westchester government for 6 or 7 years, been on this, been on the Tuckahoe board, been on ECAP, Woman of the Year from the Lions Club, Woman of the Year from all the places, all the awards, the Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade, all those things. Writing this, those people. How dare they do it again? It's the lowest thing they've ever done. And then to have incite all those people below her. I couldn't get people to write things if I did. I don't have that kind of following. To have that following, to tell something that she didn't have one shred of evidence that it was true, not one,
Come on.
is at least unethical.
Okay.
At
Thank
least. I don't know what else, but it's at least unethical. And the fact that not another board member here will say, yeah, I think that's pretty unethical. I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would do that. I don't think I would take shots without any evidence whatsoever on a Facebook page and incite other people to write horrible, vicious, ugly lies also. Like Paul Carlo, oh, those liberals. Once you start something like that, with that bully pulpit, bad things follow. I think that's unethical.
All right,
Good
well,
night.
you made
Happy
your
New
comment.
Year.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
And fortunately, the fire district politics is over now. So it's now, 7:45. So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I think you have a speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Frank. Yeah, come on up. You talk about the dog catcher election?
This is very calm, collected, and non-political. I strongly suggest and support the proposal for the pool. As you well know, both my sons were very, very good swimmers, as well as my granddaughters are very good swimmers. They swam at the county levels at a high level of competition, and it was because of the Lake Isle swim team, because they were able to do it. Very, very proud of everything that goes on there. We've been members there since the day it opened.
Probably while your granddaughters probably were on the teams, but remember like the county championship?
Yep.
There were like 6 or 7 years in a row that Lake Isle won the county championship. It was really impressive. And you're probably aware, there's the Silver Streaks program, the Badgers, the Middies. So what we're also envisioning is like an Eastchester Eagles swim program that's super competitive, that will farm kids into, you know, colleges, into perhaps the Olympics, God willing, and to just, you know, generally foster recreation. But I think we'd have a pretty darn good program if we got that whole thing together.
Well, it's a dynamite program. There is no question about it. A lot of people don't even realize is that last summer we had a 14-year-old girl qualify for the Junior Olympics.
It's awesome.
She's not a member of the town, she's a member of the club, but the idea is to give you an opportunity. That's the level of competition that we have, that are people willing to commit to go to the extra mile. Now, personally, I have a young freshman at the high school. She travels all over Westchester trying to find a pool so she can practice. Her father brings her all over, including northern Westchester, southern Westchester. I'd love it to be Lake Isle. I know it's a big project. I know it's a tremendous undertaking, but I want to let you know that I'm basically pro-pool environment.
Thank you, Frank.
Second item, in the spirit of the holiday, do we have any update on the cable project?
Not yet. Rocco Littell and I were chatting about that recently to, you know, get the ball rolling, see what we got. There's a big wire down on White Plains Road over by, I guess it's, I don't know, that City Bank or somewhere in that area, right in that corridor. So we're going to alert Verizon and Cablevision, whoever else may own that thing, and that'll start an impetus to get the ball rolling. But I think, as you talked about a couple times already, our best bet may be to just work that into our agreement.
Okay. In the spirit of the holiday, let's pick it up in January.
Sure.
In terms of the capabilities, because there are things that just possibly need to get done, and I hope we don't have to go to a contract to get them done. That's my only concern. Amen. Happy New Year,
You too.
everybody. Merry Christmas.
Have a wonderful day. Yeah.
And it's just a part of getting along with one another. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
We were talking earlier about Walter Lindstrom coming, doing his "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" spiel.
Yep.
And it's been, what, about 10 years maybe?
Yeah, more than
12
that.
years since he passed. So we're always thinking of him. But anyway, have a great one. Thank you, Frank. All right, back to my motion to adjourn. Everybody on board?
Second?
Yes.
See you in 22. Thank you.